Viewers like you make this program possible. Support your local PBS station.
I'm so terribly glad you could make it tonight. And we're going to have a great dinner. We have a Robert Mondavi here with a fine collection of his beautiful wines and an original duck dish prepared by Jean-Claude of Dallas, Texas. And while the guests are eating caviar and sipping sparkling wine, I'd like to tell you about the first course, but for that, we'll have to go on a little fishing expedition together. What a beautiful day to go fishing, Manuel.
Well, it's not so beautiful outside. You see that dark line out there?
Yeah.
When we get out there, you better be prepared because it's going to be rough.
Well, I'm prepared.
Well, I hope so.
Let's go.
Let's go try it.
Okay. Do you really get paid for going out on a nice trip like this?
Yeah, we get paid all right. Sometimes we go for 2 or 3 days and we make nothing. Sometimes we go for a day and we make a lot, so it all depends. Well, Julia, this is what it looks like. All full of old fish from yesterday.
Now what happens?
Well, we put this net out. We attach it to these doors, and we put all that stuff out.
Well, what do the doors do?
These doors are going to spread the net.
It does. Gosh. Well, it's 800 feet of line out there, isn't there? Well, it's a lovely day, Manuel, but it's getting kind of late. Do you think you got anything in that net of yours?
Yeah, I think we might have something by now, I hope. We've been here 3.5 hours now. I think we got plenty.
You going to pull it up?
Yeah, we'll pull it up right now.
Good. Gosh, it seems full of something there. Heavens, from all the mud. These look like jellyfish on the outside. All of that. Heavens sakes. All kinds of fish. I guess that's a dogfish down there and some flounders. And then what are these?
This is a ridgeback. See, this one's a little smaller. This one's a little bigger than this one.
You see, it does have a ridge on the back.
Oh, yes.
Too.
They have sharp thorns right there. They poke you. See?
Yeah. It's a marvelous little shrimp.
There it is. They're delicious.
Just delicious. Yeah. My heavens, this is quite a sorting job. What's this?
This is what they call a ratfish. See, looks like a big rat.
Yeah, it does.
See, then this is little baby hakes.
Yeah, those are good little fish too.
The Russians, they eat these like crazy.
Sure, I bet they do. You know.
Ah, they're coming for dinner, huh? Yeah, well, we got, I figured maybe 2 boxes here, a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah. Where are you going to market them then?
Oh, we have a market there in town that's going to buy them. Look at this nice spot prawn we got here.
That's a spot prawn, isn't it?
Yeah, nice big one.
Isn't that a beauty?
I wished I had about 6 boxes of these right now.
What did they bring a pound?
$2.65.
Yeah. What do the Ridgebacks bring?
A buck.
A buck, is that all? How many pounds do you think you have in this one?
200 maybe.
Then how many runs are we going to make?
We'll make 3 today.
Well, let's see how much we got there, Manuel.
Well, there it is.
They're still alive. But how many do you think you got about?
Oh, maybe 150 pounds, looks like.
Gosh. Going out again tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
You're going to hire me on?
Yeah, you want to come?
Minimum wage?
Minimum wage.
Thanks, Manuel. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Have a good
day.
What's left of it.
No wonder people get so confused about shrimp. There's so many different sizes and names for them. These little guys are known as solid shrimp. And you buy them in a package. They've been peeled, deveined, cooked, frozen. And I don't really like to buy them this way because the processors have added preservative to them, and you can really smell it and taste it. I think it's risky business. I'd much rather buy them this way. These are fresh shrimp, but you can only get them if you live on the Gulf Coast or on the shores of California. And this is the ideal way to buy them and cook them. It's a small shrimp, and then here is a larger version. These are known as the spotted shrimp, and these are wonderful for stir-fry and sauté. And when you buy them in the market, they come in a big 5-pound package like this, and you have to defrost them. And you usually won't want 5 pounds, so that you would buy them from a market, that you want to be sure that the market has defrosted them the day that you buy them, because again, they go off in taste very quickly. Now here is the jumbo shrimp, or shrimp scampi as it's sometimes called, cooked with garlic and olive oil, or you can stuff them. Again, these come frozen in 5-pound packages, and they're presumably defrosted the day you buy them. And these are some large jumbo shrimp. These ones come from Taiwan, as you can see from that writing. These are delicious butterflied and broiled, and these are the ones that we're going to use. There really isn't very much to peeling shrimp, and the bigger they are, the easier it is. And I think the best way is just to do it with your fingers. Turn it belly side up and just peel all the way around the shrimp. There are all kinds of little peelers available, but I just use my fingers. And leave the tail on, because I think it is a decorative object. So there, that's all nicely peeled. And now there is an intestinal vein that runs just along under the curve of the back. So open that up. And sometimes, if it's a dark line running down there, just pull it out. In this case, there isn't, so this shrimp is all ready to be a shrimp scampi sautéed with olive oil. And now here are the super jumbos, and I'm going to butterfly them like this, but leave the shell on, because we're going to broil them. And the way you do this, you just turn it and cut right down the belly and open it up, and you'll notice that with these great big shrimps, they often have quite a bit of matter, shall we call it, in the interior. And if there is, you have to wash that out. I'm just cutting that down there. And open it up. See, there is that kind of yellow material, and it may just come out perfectly easily. If it doesn't come out easily and there's a little residue, just wash it under cold water. And in this case, I'm going to skewer these. I have some of these bamboo skewers that you can get most anywhere nowadays. And we're only going to serve 2 shrimp per person. For one thing, they're awfully expensive, and for another, we have quite a large menu coming up, so I don't want to overburden anybody. Now they need a little marinade. Marinade is really too strong a word. What I'm going to do is give them a little flavoring. First with some lemon juice, and here's a tip. There's a half lemon, and if you want to squeeze it and not get any seeds in anything, put it in the corner of your impeccably clean towel and just squeeze, and just get the juice there. I don't want to have too much flavor on this, because the shrimp themselves are so good that you just need, there's a little bit of, tiny bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And you do this flavoring just before you cook them. And if you skewer them ahead of time, be sure that you lay them on a bed of ice, and with ice on top of them. And that's a little bit of very good olive oil that I'm putting on them, or very good neutral salad oil. You have to be very careful that everything is of the best quality, because these are such good shrimp. So I'm going to start them flesh side down. So I'm turning them flesh side down, and just paint the outsides with just a little bit of oil. Now we're going to go and cook these 2. I'm cooking these on my hibachi. As you notice, it's in the fireplace, and the only safe way to barbecue is either out of doors or in a functioning fireplace. Otherwise, it's very dangerous. Coals are just right, and these are going to go skin side down right on top of those coals. That's been about 2 minutes. Let's see how they look now. Let's turn them over. They don't brown very much on that side. In fact, it's just really the outside that browns. And now they need a little basting with melted butter. That gives it a lovely flavor. And I'm going to salt them again and then give them about 2 minutes on the other side. As you notice, they cook very quickly. Well, that's about 3 minutes. Those are done. And you don't want to overcook them, remember that. This is going to be an eggplant timbale, or kind of a little unmolded souffle. And what we want, this is the souffle part, and then this nice purple strip is eggplant skin. And this is edible skin, so I'm going to do the eggplant in 2 ways. I've got 2 fine, firm, shiny eggplant. This one I'm going to steam, and then we're going to use that for the skin and also for the pulp. So I'm just going to put this into a covered pan here of steaming water, and that'll take about 20 minutes. And then while that's steaming, I'm going to do the other eggplant. Take off the green cap, and then with a vegetable peeler, just start peeling it. Then just cut this into strips about 3/8 inches across. Then we're going to cut the strips into big dice. The trick to this is always to let it macerate in salt for about 20 minutes, and that takes out extra water and also any of that extra bitterness. I'm putting in about a good half teaspoon of salt there. Toss it around and let it sit for 20 minutes. Now, while one eggplant is steaming and the other is macerating, I want some diced onion, because there's an onion cut in half there, and then just dice it up like that. This is all going to be sautéed with some garlic, and that's going to give a very nice flavor. That goes into a plate here. And then I want to have some garlic in there. So I'll have a nice big clove, and this is a nice way of pureeing it. That has its peel on, and take your hand and go wham. And all the peel comes off. You can just separate it off with a knife. There's a little bit of black in there, or brown. And then just dice it up. And then to turn it into a puree, put a bit of salt on it. This really works very nicely. The salt softens the garlic. I always saute things in olive oil. I just happen to like it. But you can use any good tasteless oil. But be sure everything you use is of high quality. That's just enough to film the pan, and then in go the onions and garlic. I'll toss them around a little bit to cover them with the oil. Cover the pan and turn the heat down and let them cook very slowly. And then I think this steamed eggplant should be done. It's got to be just soft enough so that I can get the peel off. And so I'm going to use the flesh too, so I turn it around and cut it in half. Cut that half into quarters. And then very carefully peel and get out that flesh. I think start it with a knife. Move this over a little bit. Because I want, at all costs, to keep that peel, because the peel is going to be this little strip here, see? So it has to look nice and neat. You get all your strips done, chop up the meat you removed, and let's see how this raw salted eggplant is doing. I want you to see all the water that comes out of it there. So take out that water, and then you want to dry it, because we're going to saute it. So put it in a towel and just pat it. I think a kitchen towel is better than paper ones for this. And in it goes to the bowl again. And add this chopped, steamed eggplant flesh to it. Now it's ready to be sauteed. And here are sauteed onions. Just add them to that. And then just saute them until they're tender and lightly brown. Now, while the eggplant is sautéing, we can get to the souffle sauce base, which turns out to be just a plain old white sauce. In this, here I have 4 tablespoons of butter, and there's 1/3 cup of flour. You want to stir that around over moderate heat until it foams and froths together for 2 minutes, because that cooks the flour. Then take it off heat and let it cool down. And then we have 2 cups of hot milk. Pour that all in at once and stir it around briskly and set it over heat again. And let that simmer for 2 minutes. Now look how thick that's got. See, that's really thick. Now take it off the heat now. And then in go 3 egg yolks. Just beat them in there. And then here is our eggplant mixture. That's a sauteed eggplant that's gotten very lightly brown. And just in that goes. Then we have a little handful of parsley that'll go in. That gives it a nice flavor. And a bit of cheese. That's either grated cheddar or Swiss. That's about 1/3 cup. And that all gets nicely stirred into there. I think I'll have to stir that in with a rubber spatula. And be sure you taste it very carefully. Add salt and pepper and make sure that it's just perfect. And then it's ready for the beaten egg whites. There you are, 5 stiffly beaten egg whites. You want to fold about 1/4, stir about 1/4 of them into your mixture, and then fold in the rest. That first group went in just to soften it. There, fold gently, but as thoroughly as possible. And now we have a little buttered souffle dish there. There's a piece of buttered paper that goes in the bottom, because these are going to be unmolded. And here's your strip of steamed skin. And in goes the souffle mixture. Now these are going to bake in a water bath in a 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes.
Je suis en retard, quel dommage. Julia!
Jean-Claude!
I'm sorry, je suis en retard.
Oh, I was a little worried, but you made it.
Thank you.
The kitchen is ready.
Merci. For this first course, I'm going to use 4 of these beautiful Long Island duckling. The name of the recipe is aiguillette de canard buissonnière, or in English, duck in a bush. Now, I'm going to use the meat from the leg to make the mousse. Add the salt. And now the cream. Mix for 3-4 seconds. Now I'm going to taste. Perfect, ready to use. Now I'm going to sliver the duck. Here's the breast. Press your finger on top of the breast and very gently slice below your finger. In that way, you will obtain some very thin slices of breast. The mousse, not too much. Rolling, very gently. Shape it so they will be all uniform. The butter is to coat the duck. Very simple to make. 2 eggs, flour, salt, pepper, fairly good amount, little stock, slowly. By the way, this stock is made from the bones from the duck. This is Chinese bean thread, very brittle when dry, and watch what happens when I pour boiling water over it. And combine with the batter. And let it sit. Now the sauce. The sauce requires the skin of 2 lemons, 2 lime, and 1 orange. And now in this pot, I have cooking 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of stock, duck stock. After 2 minutes, I'm ready to add the skin. Just shake to caramelize the skin. Lower the fire and add all the other ingredients, the remaining of the stock, the green peppercorn, the vinegar, some grenadine for the color, the cornstarch, and shake. Let's go back to duck. One of those little fillet, roll the noodle around. If it's too much, just cut some off, no problem. And drop in the deep fry pan. After 2 minutes, it's nice and golden. Let's go decorate it. And now the duck in the bush. Julia, I hope your guests enjoy this.
The man responsible for these wines tonight is Bob Mondavi, the best-known winemaker in the United States and the man who's done more for California wines than anyone I know. Bob, we've given you a rather difficult menu to deal with today.
Well, you certainly have. In fact, I was surprised when I heard you were having duck with the Chinese noodles, and I was trying to figure out what are we going to use with that. And I'd like to get your opinion on that. We've decided that we thought we should have the Fumé Blanc because it's a little bit more aggressive. It has a little of that herbaceous character that we thought might go with the duck, and with the noodles we thought that it would soften it. Rather than have a red wine, we thought we'd have this Fumé Blanc. I'd like to have you sample it to see what you think of it.
Well, I'd love to.
In fact, this is
I have a feeling it will go, but I'd love to sample it.
1981 Fumé.
This was one of the first wines of yours I ever had, was a Fumé Blanc.
Well, we actually started and created the Fumé Blanc. We came up with the name Fumé Blanc. We Americanized Blanc Fumé. It's made from the Sauvignon Blanc grape. As you know, the Blanc Fumé is from the Loire, made of the Sauvignon Blanc grape. I couldn't think of a better name, a proprietary name, so we decided that we'd Americanize Blanc Fumé and called it Fumé Blanc, and it was an instant success.
Idea.
So I'd like to have you try it and see what you think.
Well, it would be difficult to start with the red, even if it were a duck, to start with the red and follow the white.
I agree with you. That was the reason that we felt that this had enough of that character. It's a little bit more aggressive than the Chardonnay, yet there is the body, there is the little aggressive character that we thought would go well with the duck.
Because it has to stand up to it.
That's right.
Which I think this will.
Well, I think it has more than enough body. Sometimes a white wine, such as this, will have as much body as a red wine, so that's why I wasn't concerned about having it with the duck.
And then what are we having with the shrimp?
Well, we're going to have the Chardonnay, our 1979 Reserve Chardonnay.
Oh, that should be
Once
lovely.
again, that is more elegant. But here, the shrimp is definitely a little bit more elegant in that regard, a little finer, so we decided that we have a Chardonnay to go with the lighter, more, we'll say, finer, we'll say...
This is the idea of progressing from light to a little heavier, and then we're having a red with the cheese.
And that's what we're going to have is the 1975 Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon. We thought that would go exceptionally well. As you know, we feel that that's a king of red wines.
I know. And then I think you're going to give us a little bubbly to begin with.
Well, this is going to be interesting because the bubbly is an experimental sparkling wine that we're having. My son always wanted to do something of his own. He wanted to create something of his own. He said, Dad, I'd like to make a sparkling wine. And so I said, well, Tim, I'll tell you what you can do. You can go ahead and crush the grapes of Chardonnay, the Pinot Noir, whatever you want to do. But remember, we will never come out with it until we unanimously agree that it belongs in the company of the finest sparkling wines in this country as well as abroad.
And how do you think it compares?
Well, we're making good progress. We all agree we've made good progress, but we're waiting yet, and we're going to have you taste it today to see what you think of it, but we're making progress. We don't think we'll be coming out with it for several years yet.
We're all so much looking forward to trying it, Bob. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served. This is lovely. Cabernet. Oh, lovely. Apple pie. Ice cream. Thank you ever so much for coming. I hope you had as good a time as we did. I want especially to thank Robert Mondavi for coming with his beautiful wines, and Jean-Claude, who came here all the way from Dallas, Texas, with his duck. Be with us next time, and until then, this is Julia Child. Bon appetit.